techniques. The book, again, is no cash, no problem. And you can buy it now online at www.tantalknetwork.com. Click on the book and follow the instructions, or pick up the phone and call Lola at 727-441-33.
Hi there, I'm Dr. John.
And I'm Dr. Lisa.
You have medical questions you never get to ask?
Now you can ask us.
After many years of caring for children and families, we've learned that the best informed families are also the healthiest.
Are you saying knowledge is power, Dr. John?
I am, Dr. Lisa, and since you're the smart one, I hope you'll share some knowledge with me and our listeners.
Let's do this then.
Okay, we hope you join us every Monday at noon right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network for the Doctors John and Lisa Show.
Listen online at tantalk1340.com.
This is Mark Skogman, host of Spectrum 360 on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Spectrum 360 is a political talk radio program that features politics, the arts, and popular culture from a progressive point of view. Spectrum 360 broadcasts for 1 hour weekly on Monday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Time and anytime via podcast at tantalk1340.com. Remember, Spectrum 360, politics from a progressive point of view.
We take care of our own, wherever this flag's flown.
Hello there, Tampa Bay. This is former NFL and college football coach Jimmy Johnson. Listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They can sure use the attention.
And this is former Major League Baseball player, Hall of Famer Wade Boggs. I also hope you listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They can darn sure use the money.
Hi there. This is marine wildlife artist and conservationist Dr. Guy Harvey. Please listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They need to feel worthy.
If you would like to become a wholesale buyer of the premium quality longevity product that you hear about right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network for personal service, you can pick up the phone right now and call Lola at 727-441-3311. Again, that's Lola at 727-441-3311. Or for even faster service, log on to tantalkhealth.com. That's tantalkhealth.com. Here's to your health and longevity.
Don't miss the Craft Beer Hour every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll bring you up to speed on craft beer events and festivals, local breweries, and interview the brains behind the brews. So grab a pint and listen to the Craft Beer Hour every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, and visit the website, thecraftbeerhour.com.
Hi, I'm Lou Angelwolf, and I've had a lot of shows on Tan Talk over the years, but our latest adventure is IamHO.love, in my humble opinion, .love. It's about humor and aha moments, and of course, we share every week with our teacher into the exo-consciousness, Michael Merberg.
Yes, here you'll learn a little bit about the Tao and how the best lives are lived simply and with patience and compassion.
And we're waiting for you to listen in with us on Wednesday nights at 7:30 here on Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's Monday! Do you need some Monday motivation? The Shop Local for Good News team is here. I'm Karena Morrison, and we're bringing you the good news stories of our neighbors doing good in our neighborhoods.
You can find us on Facebook Live on the Shop Local for Good page, and we're looking forward to your calls.
Let's get this Shop Local for Good News conversation started, shall we? Happy Monday, Greater Tampa Bay. This is Karena Morrison, and this is Shop Local for Good News, Monday Motivation. We're on every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. on the wonderful Tan Talk Radio Network. We are live with our fantastic producer, Ed. He keeps me in line, and we appreciate Ed greatly for getting up early on Monday mornings to be with us. We also have in studio my daughter extraordinaire. She is managing the Facebook Live. So if you are enjoying your cup of coffee while you're home, feel free to tune in to Facebook. The Facebook page is Shop Local for Good. And we invite you to comment. She's supposed to let me know if any comments are coming up. And feel free to comment your favorite local small business. If that's you, I want you to put your link up there. We also are encouraging you to comment with your favorite locally focused nonprofit mission, because here, the Shop Local for Good team, our mission is to not only motivate your Monday, but to inspire you to shop local for good. What that means is the for good part is two parts. For good as in forever. And what we like to do on the show and throughout the community is spotlight the local business owners who are giving back to our community by helping to support locally focused nonprofit missions. And then we like to encourage the supporters of our locally focused nonprofit missions to shop locally with the business owners who are supporting their mission. It's basically like a great big circle, and it helps build stronger communities, and we can do that. We can do it together, y'all. So I want to first pardon my voice. We're hoping that it's going to last for 2 hours. If you'd like to call in, today is also a call-in show. Locally, it's 727-441-3000. That's a Greater Tampa Bay area, 727-441-3000. If you have a story about a neighbor doing good in our neighborhood, we love those. Or if you are a small business owner that has a passion to support a local nonprofit, please call in. Let us know what your business is, what kind of services or products that you provide, and especially your passion to support a locally focused nonprofit. Now, if you're outside of the Tampa Bay area, yes, we do have listeners that are all over the country. The toll-free call-in number is 866-826-1340. Because you know what? You can do Shop Local for Good in any community. It's basically a philosophy of supporting the small business engine of our country that most likely is your neighbor and most often gives the most of their time and or finances to missions that directly affect everyone in their community. So we truly appreciate our small business supporters. Now, the first hour of the show is dedicated to the Benevolution Foundation. That is my family's nonprofit. The Benevolution Foundation is a nonprofit incubator. So we work with all volunteer managed, locally focused nonprofits in our Greater Tampa Bay area. The Benevolution Foundation is currently accepting grant applications. You can find us on Facebook and find the link for the application on the Benevolution Foundation. That's the THE Benevolution Foundation. We're looking forward to helping more nonprofits in 2019. In 2018, we were founded in 2018, even though I have approximately 2 decades of working in the Tampa Bay area and nationally with nonprofits on helping their teams be more effective in community campaigns and growing both online and neighbor to neighbor, because what I'm really passionate about is trying to get people not so much on their keyboards. Now, the keyboards are important and they can reach thousands of people if you do it right. That's what we do as well. We teach them how to reach thousands of people online effectively. And but we want you to go door knocking. Yes, get off the keyboard and go. First of all, it's good exercise. And second of all, when was the last time that you talked to your neighbors about something other than a dog barking or, I don't know, grass being too high? What we do encourage our local nonprofits is to get out in the community. That could be at community events, and that could just be strict canvassing. My family has done a whole lot of canvassing over the years, and nonpartisan and partisan campaigns So, and for those who know me, you know that I'm really not a shy person. So I do enjoy talking to people. Now, if you aren't that kind of person that finds pleasure in meeting new people, it's probably not a good idea to start right off by canvassing door to door. What you would want to do is get with the nonprofit you're passionate about and figure out a community event to go to. And then, sit at the table with them, listen to them, get to know the leaders of the nonprofit that you help support, and hear how they explain their mission in the community. That's the most impactful way of you to learn. And you'll also hear the questions of the people that come up to the booth. You want to go that route first before you go door to door. Before you go door to door. So I'm going to turn down my phone so that we don't hear the notifications of that. One of my dear entrepreneurs that works with the Shop Local for Good team just notified me she's actually listening to us live on the radio as she's heading into Orlando. So, wow, we reached that far. So that would give a shout out to Lauren with Madhouse Mindworks. She makes amazing steampunk jewelry, and she's also one of the supporters of the show. Her jewelry can be found at the MarketSpace For Good. That's in downtown Clearwater at 628 Cleveland Street. That's 628 Cleveland Street. We are open. The MarketSpace For Good is open from Tuesday to Sunday. In December, we're open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Tuesday through Sunday. So get your holiday shopping done there. And that is going to allow me to transition into the program that we just started this past week. We are thrilled by the new campaign that we just started. It's hashtag artist, plural, Artists for Good. Artists for Good. Now, in the MarketSpace For Good, we have all kinds of wall space, and we have some shelves that are up pretty high. I think they're up at 6 feet. Yeah. And we put a call out into the artist community, and we already have our first Artist for Good. It's Thomas Martins. His art is gorgeous, and it is currently being showcased at the MarketSpace For Good. And the proceeds of the sale of his art is directly being donated to the Benevolution Foundation's mission. So the grant process that I mentioned earlier that is currently open for 2019, the process of you adding his gorgeous art to your collection will also involve a donation directly from the artist to the Benevolution Foundation for our mission in the community. Now, our mission is to educate nonprofit leaders and their volunteers how to be most effective in getting their mission to as the most people as possible so that we can grow stronger communities together. So we want to thank Thomas Martins and for allowing us to showcase his gorgeous work, and for being so generous for donating the proceeds of all his sales to the Benevolution Foundation. So we definitely want you to come into the MarketSpace For Good. That's 628 Cleveland Street in beautiful downtown Clearwater. We're basically nestled between the historic post office, which is the first post office in Clearwater, and Station Square Park. Station Square City Park was the first train station in Clearwater. For anybody that knows me, knows that I love Clearwater and knows that I love history. So being on the first floor of the Station Square condominiums in the creative suites has been a blessing for our team, and we're looking forward to growing the community from there. Now, if you are a local artist and you would like to display your artwork and donate the proceeds of your sales you don't have to donate all the proceeds. Thomasia was just very, very, very thrilled about the opportunity and excited about the Benevolution Foundation and what we're doing. And we appreciate his extra generosity. But we do ask for a 25% donation of your sale to go to the Benevolution Foundation to help cover things like the Tan Talk Radio Network Hour that we spend on promoting nonprofit missions in our community and telling their stories to all of our neighbors in Greater Tampa Bay. And some expenses like websites and stuff like that, the not fun stuff. And then, well, it's fun if you're me, but I'm a little weird in case you haven't noticed. So we have plenty of wall space. We ask you to get in touch with us through the Benevolution Foundation's page on Facebook, or come out to visit the space so we can show you our gorgeous, gorgeous retail space that has a lot more than art. So you'll be, your artwork will be exposed to a lot of our regular Shop Local for Good friends in the area that come support our small businesses that are showcased in this MarketSpace for Good. For example, we can spot like a couple of them on Nisi's Specialty Foods. Oh man, Lorena, what are you thinking about her winterberry butter?
It's divine.
It is divine. It's strawberries and cranberries and ginger and cloves and allspice and a couple other sweeteners in there, natural sweeteners. What Aunt Nisi's does is she keeps her fruit butters on the low glycemic level. They are low in glycemic. I know Deborah, if she's listening, she's laughing at me. I know she's listening. There she is. So they're low glycemic and they're on the alkaline list. So you want to, basically when you buy Aunt Nisi's fruit butters, you're going to throw out all the yucky jelly in your refrigerator. Just replace your fruit butters with your jelly because they're fantastic on peanut butter jelly sandwiches and more. They're good in yogurt. They're just good on everything. Turkey sandwiches. Mm-hmm. That winterberry butter is really good on turkey sandwiches. Okay, who's hungry? I'm hungry. We're going to be visiting Angie's Grill, our friends at Angie's Grill after the show. So if you're still in your pajamas and you think you might want to, meet Lorena and I in person, say hi to us. We're going to head on over to Angie's Grill and have our breakfast after the show. We'll be there about 9:15. 9:20, 9:30 if my car doesn't start. Talk about Monday motivation. We get in the car to come to the show every Monday morning, and when the car starts, it gets a small cheer and a pat on the dashboard for continuing its journey in life. Oh my goodness, that giggling in the background is my daughter. Okay, let's go back to the Benevolution Foundation and the mission. We are also launching this week. Last week was Artists for Good. So if you want to find us in social media, do hashtag either Artist for Good, and you'll get to see our promotion of Thomasia and his beautiful artwork, or hashtag plural Artists for Good, because we're doing some promotions of our dear friends in the artist community who are supporters of the mission to grow local all-volunteer nonprofits in our community, because they really do. If you've ever worked with an all-volunteer nonprofit, you'll understand that the people that found these nonprofits, my family in particular, they do a lot of the financial support on their own. So giving their families a little bit of support in the community, it truly means a lot. So, for example, if you donate $5 to an all-volunteer managed nonprofit, like, for example, Bailey's Way Rescue, they're in our 2019 list of nonprofits that we're going to be helping coach and support in our community. Bailey's Way Rescue Bailey's Way Rescue Group, if you want to find them on Instagram or on Facebook. They are a local rescue group that helps dogs that are injured or that are in the kill shelters, and they provide them with foster homes, so they don't have to pay the overhead of a brick and mortar shelter. So their finances actually go, more directly to helping with fostering the animals. And I love their team. They were competing for Tampa Bay's People's Choice for favorite local nonprofit at this past year's annual Macaroni and Cheese Fall Festival. They won People's Choice. So we are going to be working with them all year. And I'm excited because their team is phenomenal. No, I didn't see Gladys.
She said good morning.
Good morning, Gladys. Another winner. Gladys. We love Gladys. That's a King's Bistro team. They are a locally, well, obviously they're local because they're a food truck with fantastic food. And they actually won Tampa Bay's Best Mac and Cheese. And that was done by a panel of celebrities, local celebrities. Mm-hmm. So we love the King's Bistro family. They're all always very helpful at events. They're team workers. Oh boy, you guys are going to want to stay tuned for the second hour because I have a story about what happened this past Saturday that you're not going to want to miss. Just think 6 people doing their best impersonation of trying not to be Dorothy with The Wizard of Oz. Anyone that was outside on Saturday knows, I'll just give you a slight hint. It involves wind and a tent. Lots of wind in a tent. So definitely stay tuned for the second hour.
Denise is watching.
Denise? Aunt Niecy?
Yep.
Aunt Niecy, did she? Well, we hope she heard our Winterberry Butter shout out.
I don't know.
You can find Aunt Niecy's on Facebook. Aunt Niecy actually donated the fabulous gift basket for kids campaign for the People's Choice during the annual Macaroni and Cheese Fall Festival. I'm still talking about macaroni and cheese. It's almost a month later. It is a month later. What is wrong with me? All right. So let's go back to the second campaign that we are started. We have Artists for Good. That's hashtag or Artist for Good. The second campaign that we're starting. And if you want to tune in later on tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll be at the MarketSpace for Good. You guys are going to get a sneak peek today because this is Monday Motivation and we like to treat you special. We're doing hashtag Business for Good. Now, this will be open to local businesses in the Greater Tampa Bay area. In the MarketSpace for Good, we have a lovely display where we could display 50 of your business cards and encourage our visitors to support you in the community. What we are asking is that you make a monthly donation to the Benevolution Foundation to help keep us on the air because radio is not free. I'll tell you a secret. It's not free. And so we would ask that you make a monthly donation so that the Shop Local for Good, MarketSpace for Good team can encourage our visitors to the MarketSpace for Good in beautiful downtown Clearwater at our Creative Suite to go on a Shop Local for Good adventure, not only in our Creative Suite, but with our hashtag Business for Good supporters. So basically what you would do is sign up through the Benevolution Foundation page on Facebook. Please send us a message and let us know that you'd like to be a part of the Business for Good Foundation campaign. That would involve me coming and visiting your business, your place of business. If you are a mobile business, that's good too. You can come by the MarketSpace for Good. We'll take some pictures. Why not? And then what I'd love to do is go to the brick and mortar businesses because I'm also a Google local guide. I'm actually in the top 1%. I've taken well over 1,200 pictures at local businesses, and I'm coming close to 1.5 million views of my photos as a Google Local Guide. So I love to go on adventure. Plus, I think I'm about 25 shy of getting a badge of being an adventurer. So you can help me out with my Shop Local for Good adventure too. And that's all just for fun. But it does help because we have been in Angie's Grill. That's at 1732 Drew Street. Our family eats there for breakfast often. Also, they have fantastic tacos and empanadas on Tuesdays. So if you're busy today, make sure you go there tomorrow. And let them know that Karena sent you. And Lorena highly recommends their empanadas. She's in the corner saying, hey, you need to keep your eyes open. All right. Am I not motivating you, my daughter, to keep your eyes open? She's tired. It was a busy weekend. So let's go back to businesses for good. Business for good. Hashtag business for good. And why Google Photos are important. A Google photo can actually attract people when they use Google Maps. They do come up in Google a lot. Your phone thinks you need help. Okay, radio. We're on live radio, and my phone is trying to have me Google search things because I said Google enough. And no, I am not paid by Google. All right. Google Maps is important because we've been sitting enjoying our breakfast at Angie's Grill. And as you know, I am not shy. And when new people come in, if I know they're new, I'll strike up a conversation with them and ask them how they found the place. Most of the time, it's either drive-by or they found it on Google Maps. So, and they've seen my pictures because I may or may not have taken a picture of every menu item they serve. For 2 solid months, I would say. I would go in there and say, okay, what don't I have a picture of? So when I tell you that Angie's Grill, pretty much everything they serve is delicious. I'm not kidding around, y'all. I've tasted everything on the menu because we order it and then the family gets to eat it. And it's good. It's all good, right, Mina? Mm-hmm. So definitely we want to give Miss Shelley the most fantastically awesome server on the planet. And grouchy mood, and Miss Shelley is your waitress, and you leave in a grouchy mood, you just need to go home and go back to bed because she's got the greatest personality. She may or may not give you a hug. If that weirds you out, you won't get one. But if you want one and ask for one, I'm pretty sure she has no problem with that scenario. So we love Miss Shelley. We know a couple of Miss Shelleys. We love Miss Shelley at Angie's Grill. She's got a great attitude and she's just a positive person. Not to mention she's a phenomenal server. Get your breakfast or your lunch right out to you with a smile. So that's enough about Angie's Grill. Once again, we'll be there around 9:15, 9:30 if you want to come by. And you're welcome to say hi while we're eating our breakfast. If I have a mouthful, I'll nod my head at you and swallow. All right. Now, the business is for good. Business for good, hashtag business for good with the Benevolution Foundation. Once again, we have a gorgeous display. We are going to go along. I'm very committed to my non-compete policy in everything I do. So it's going to be first sponsor in gets the spot, and it's by industry or products or company, or If you're unique, you don't have to worry about this because you'll be the only one up there. But we do have limited space. And then we're also going to be launching a 2019 Passports for Good publication that will be published in mid to late January. And so if you would like to be in the Passports for Good, if you don't know what the Passports for Good is, it is a leather personal organizer. And we are going to be focusing on our. So if you are a business in Clearwater, in downtown Clearwater, and you'd like to know more about the Passports for Good program, we encourage you to also send the Benevolution Foundation's Facebook page a message with the note Passports for Good. Basically, it is a leather personal organizer that is also a handy dandy. You can use it as a wallet. And what we do is we insert those plastic business card pages in there, and then we reach out into the business community for donations to help with the publication of the book. And then we turn around and we offer it for donations of our shoppers that want to shop local for good to save hundreds in their community, while their donation goes to support the Benevolution Foundation's mission to support other nonprofits and our mission in the community. It sounds really, really complicated, but basically it's an upscale coupon book. Now, if you already have a Benevolution Foundation Passport for Good, they are refillable. So you will want to get with us because we can give you the packet of cards when it's done publication wise for a lower donation. So that's some of our 2019 plans. So once again, we are going to be launching #Business for Good tomorrow, Tuesday. We're giving our wonderful followers on the Shop Local for Good News Monday Motivation Show and our neighbors and our listeners and our friends and family a sneak peek into that program that's launching tomorrow. If you are a small business owner in the Greater Tampa Bay area and you'd like to reach people with your philanthropy, and if you like the mission of the Benevolution Foundation, we encourage you to reach out to us. You could also email me. It's Karena, Karena, at thebenevolutionfoundation.org. That's Karena at thebenevolutionfoundation.org. If you have any questions, or send the Facebook page a message, and we'll get right back to you. So that's two opportunities. One is to display your business card in the community. The other one is the Passports for Good publication. That will be a limited run of 100 publications, 100 books. And then the third one is a direct sponsor of a radio show. How that works is we will announce you each week. Shop Local for Good sets up an event for the Shop Local for Good News Monday Motivation, and we announce our sponsors in there. And then we also are being live streamed on the Tan Talk Radio Network YouTube channel. And what happens with that live stream is my fantastic assistant, my daughter Lorena, takes that link and she uploads the video onto the Shop Local for Good channel on YouTube. So, and then in the description, your business or your sponsorship will be offered a thank you. So you'll be on our live YouTube channel forever and ever and ever. Then we give you a shout out on the show. And, I might throw a few extras in there. We do have a website. It's shoplocalforgoodnews.com. If you would like to be a sponsor of the show, we have other sponsorship opportunities as well. So we definitely appreciate our listeners, and we appreciate our sponsors, and we just appreciate our neighbors who, take that extra step to support a locally focused, all volunteer managed nonprofit mission in our community. Now, the second nonprofit that the Benevolution Foundation will be working with this year is Kids Campaign. Kids Campaign has a dual mission, and it's phenomenal. I've actually known and worked with their team, do a lot of support of other nonprofits in our community because the first part of their mission is volunteerism. So basically, they encourage kindness in doing service. That's kindness in doing service. That's where kids comes from. Kindness in doing service. So they have a passion to show people how you can help your neighborhood or other locally focused nonprofit missions in your community while helping them with their second part of their mission, which is to assist families who are living with the challenges of pediatric cancer and who need a little bit of help on every once in a while, a little bit of financial help with things like travel expenses or maybe emergency bills that have come up, and basically giving them a little bit of relief along with providing them with, the love that comes from that. And just knowing that people care in the community. So that's Kids Campaign Inc. You can find them on Facebook as well, at Kindness in Doing Service, Sharing Love. I believe that's their website. So I am going to look that up so that I'm not sending you places where I don't want you to go. I want you to support the missions that, because I hear this a lot in the community. People who want to help, but they don't have time to actually vet a nonprofit in our community. And I understand everybody's busy. And so what I'm here for is to get to know the leaders of these nonprofits and to get to know how they operate. Thank you for your patience with me taking a drink. I'm keeping the voice up. I want your dollars to be most impactful in our community as possible. So what my job is, what I love to do, is to get to know the leaders of these all volunteer managed nonprofits and encourage them in ways to be most effective with their donor dollars. I also encourage them, in fact, I'm really kind of strict about it, on volunteer appreciation. Because if you, cue the lecture. Here's the continued lecture you're going to hear from me. If you are a leader of a local nonprofit and you do not know how to appreciate the time that a volunteer offers you, because I'm going to tell you right now, time is way more valuable than dollars. The time and dedication and just being a spokesperson for your mission in the community is you will never, well, I can't say never. If you win the lottery, you might have enough money to do it, but it's truly invaluable. Because here's what happens when you don't appreciate a volunteer, or you constantly go to them and then burn them out, then not only are they not going to come back to your nonprofit mission, but they will tell a few friends that you don't appreciate them. And that is more damaging to your nonprofit mission than any kind of a financial expense that you could incur. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Volunteer appreciation should be number one on your list. Number one. if you have somebody that's out there as a spokesperson for your nonprofit. I'm telling you, if you don't send them an email on occasion, if you don't follow them on Facebook and notice that they're sharing, or notice that they are encouraging their friends to follow you, if you don't recognize that, they will go away. And that is more damaging to your mission than anything. It's truly disheartening. Not only is it disheartening to the volunteer, but it really doesn't speak well of your recognition of what they're offering you. So, volunteer appreciation, number 1 on the list. Going back to Kids Campaign, I want to give the world's biggest, hugest shout out to Christine Hanlon, who is one of the founders of Kids Campaign. Because I'm going to tell you right now, she shares more than anybody on the planet I know of. She constantly shares. Even when Kids Campaign was competing in, I'm going to say it again, the annual Macaroni and Cheese Fall Festival, Kids Campaign was competing for People's Choice for Tampa Bay's favorite local nonprofit. And I'll be doggoned if she wasn't sharing the other competitors' promotions. I had to fuss at her. I'm like, okay, Christine, this is a competition, my friend. You need to share Kids Campaign only. She goes, no. I'm just so excited about the opportunity, and I love what they do, and it's just part of her heart. And she is just one of the most fantastic ladies. You have to meet her in person because she's just awesome. And she just gives and gives and gives. And so, yeah, that was me fussing at her because she was, not only was she competing for Kids Campaign, she was helping the other nonprofits too. So, yeah, volunteer appreciation. And Kids Campaign is all volunteer managed. And Christine, on top of it, is a single mom. So we just want to give a great big community shout out to Christine Hanlon with Kids Campaign, which is why a big, huge reason why Kids Campaign will always be on the Benevolution Foundation's radar. I've just seen what she does, and I personally know how much she invests in her nonprofit, not only with time but resources, and it's just an inspiration. So the 2 nonprofits that we currently have approved are Bailey's Way Rescue. You can find them on Facebook. Please do, and like their page, and give them also, if you like what they're doing in the community, recommendations are huge. So I'm gonna give you a little homework assignment, if you don't mind. If you can go to the Benevolution Foundation's page and please give us a recommendation. If you have a challenge with something that we're doing and you don't feel that you can recommend us, what I'm going to ask you to do is send me a message, because I do reply personally to all of them. In fact, we had some challenges with one of our events, and not the Benevolution Foundation event, a Shop Local for Good event. There were some obstacles that we were dealing with at an event, and we did receive some negative feedback, and I personally answered all of them, because people need to be heard and they need to be recognized. And I will tell you that a good 85-90% of the replies that I got back from my replies were all positive. Mainly, they were shocked that I replied to them because they just wanted to vent. And when I explained the backstory, not excuses, mind you, I did apologize and I explained the backstory. They understood, because a lot of people don't understand things. And you know how you get past that? You voice your opinion and you ask questions. But what I would appreciate you do is ask questions privately, especially when you're dealing with locally focused nonprofits and social media, or even small businesses. If you have an issue with a small business and it's a serious issue, or if even if it's an annoyance, send their page a private message. Because while it's faster to just vent online, what I'd like for you to understand is that your words do have power, and I'm sure you do understand that. But a lot of times, the issue that you may have with that small business or even the nonprofit might be due to an unforeseen challenge that they're dealing with, and getting to know that challenge, or just voicing your opinion privately first and seeing how they react. I mean, they may not answer you back, and then if you're still annoyed, or if you still have an issue, then you go public. But I'm going to encourage you to, instead of leaving that bad Google review, which, by the way, they don't come down, or instead of blasting them to publicly in a group or on your Facebook page or wherever, think about reaching out to them personally first. Just take a moment and understand that there might be a backstory that you don't know about. So that's where I'm going with this. The Benevolution Foundation appreciates all recommendations. Those could be found on our Facebook page. I would love to encourage you to also recommend the Bailey's Way Rescue Group. They're also on Facebook and do very good work with animals in our community that need foster care. And the Kids Campaign Incorporated. It's @ Kindness in Doing Service Campaign. Kindness in Doing Service Campaign. You can find them on Facebook too. And, get to know them, go through their page. Don't just take my word, mind you. You can take my word. But if you're extra skeptical and you don't know me very well, I encourage you to research. Definitely encourage you to research. And Vogue Glamour Parties and Events. Good morning. Hey, we want to give them a shout out too. They're one of our first businesses for good. # business for good. So Suzanne with Vogue Glamour Parties and Events. Now, she's another one. If you were, having a bad day, you want to seek out Suzanne, because she's just ultra positive, extra creative, totally glamorous, and just fun. And she's also a huge helper in the community. Vogue Glamour Parties and Events has donated to the Benevolution Foundation a glamour bus party. Well, this is huge, y'all. I mean, it's $475 value, and she's donated it to us. So what the Benevolution Foundation is currently doing is we have a fundraiser happening on our foundation page, and we ask for a minimum donation of $20, and then we'll put your name in for a door prize drawing of the party with Suzanne and her fantastic team. She has a great team too. For the Glamour Bus event, the Glamour Bus to come to you in Pinellas County. Now, the Glamour Bus, also known as Lucy, is a 35-foot RV that is so awesome. It's blinged out to the max. And Lucy got a facelift this past week by an artist. And Suzanne, if you could still hear me on Facebook or live on the radio, definitely give the artist a shout out on our Facebook page, in the Facebook Live. For those of you that didn't hear the beginning of the show, we are live on the Shop Local for Good page. We are Facebook Live on the Shop Local for Good page. If you're driving in your car on your way to work, it is not recommended for you to watch us on Facebook Live. In fact, I discourage it highly. I do. So, yes, Lucy got a facelift. It is gorgeous. Not to mention, Suzanne's done a phenomenal job on the interior of the RV, and they do amazing parties for they do dress up parties. She does bridal shower parties, bridal event parties, and she really, really cares. She's one of those small business owners that basically the night before a party, she can't sleep because she just wants to make sure that everything's fantastic for you. So once again, that's Vogue Glamour Parties and Events. And that's our dear friend Suzanne and her team. We want to give them a shout out for their donation of a glamour party event anywhere in Pinellas County. And that drawing will be in we're working behind the scenes, and we're thinking about, or we're most likely going to be doing a sweetheart event in February. So, don't hold me to that, but that's the plan. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, and then that will be our major door prize. So the donations are happening now. We ask for a minimum of a $20 donation because it's a huge prize. So, and we definitely appreciate the Vogue Glamour Party and Events team for that donation to the Benevolution Foundation. So, reviewing this first hour, the way to help a nonprofit while you're in your pajamas, go to their Facebook pages and you can give them a recommendation. It's easy to find. If you go to their Facebook page and you haven't recommended them, Facebook will ask you if you want to recommend them. You can share their posts. Definitely when you like their post, drop a comment on it. That helps them with their Facebook metrics. And also, it lets Facebook know that people actually care about that post. When you are sharing a post about from a nonprofit that you know about, you definitely want to say something, because here's how the Facebook algorithm works. If you just directly share it without saying anything about it, Facebook basically thinks, that you're passive and that you don't really have a lot of interest. It really does. It's a computer. It just doesn't understand, how busy we are. But adding a few words to that post adds more weight to your post, and your friends are more likely to see it. So, it doesn't have to be a lot of words. Just say, hey, check it out. What you want to avoid are the words that say, you want to directly avoid the words share and like. And if you want to say the words share or like, leave spaces in the middle of them or put an underscore in the middle of the letters. Because for now, that tricks the Facebook algorithm. It may pick up on my little trick later on, but that's what Karena uses for now. Or, use a thesaurus for the word share or like. Let's get creative, shall we? So, recommending nonprofit pages, definitely liking and commenting on their posts, and sharing a post a week. That is going to take you less than 5 minutes a week. And it will mean the world to an all volunteer managed, locally focused nonprofit. Our recommendations for this week are the Benevolution Foundation, Bailey's Way Rescue Group, and the Kids Campaign. Those are the 3 recommendations for actually this year. So you're going to hear me talk more about them in the Benevolution Foundation Hour every Monday morning, Monday Motivation. We're about to go to break for our next hour. You definitely want to stay with us because you're going to hear the Wizard of Oz story about, and it involves a group of small business owners saving each other this past Saturday. It's a fantastic story. So this is Shop Local for Good News, Monday Motivation. I'm Karena Morrison. You are listening to us on the Tan Talk Radio Network every Monday morning. We will be back in a few minutes, and we are ready to motivate you in the second hour. Listen to me.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay, WZHR, Zephyr Hills,
FM 104.3.
Listen.
Mission complete. Tariff truce. I'm Michael Toscano. It won't be called Air Force One because he is no longer president. But the big blue and white jet that carried George W. Bush around the world during his presidency today will take him to Washington, D.C. one final time. It will fly under the ID Special Mission 41 in honor of the 41st president, full of family and friends and former staff members accompanying the casket. More on what comes next from correspondent Kaylee Hartung in Houston.
There will be a departure ceremony here at Ellington Air Base this morning, and then upon their arrival at Joint Base Andrews, another ceremony to welcome them. Once they get to the Capitol, there will be a ceremony there, and members of the congressional leadership will host it. We're told Vice President Pence among those who will speak there.
You may have seen the photo of the yellow Labrador dog by the casket. Kaylee tells us that's Sully, Mr. Bush's service dog, whose work is not over yet.
That beautiful photo posted last night of the dog laying in front of his casket with the caption, "Mission complete." That dog's next mission to service veterans at Walter Reed.
President Trump tweeting about tariffs with China last night, as we hear from Jerry Bodlander.
After returning from Argentina, where he and China's leader agreed to hit the pause button on the trade war between the two countries, President Trump tweeted that China has agreed to, quote, reduce and remove tariffs on cars entering China from the U.S. Right now, those tariffs are 40%.
There has been no confirmation from China about that, but news of a truce between China and the U.S. at the G20 summit on tariffs has sent global markets soaring, including stock futures on Wall Street, with big gains now showing across the boards. One child is dead, as many as 40 people, many of them kids, may have been injured, at least 20 hospitalized after a charter bus crashed in Arkansas while carrying a Tennessee youth football team this morning. It happened on I-30 near Benton, about 25 miles southwest of Little Rock. State police say the charter bus was traveling from Texas to Memphis. I'm Michael Toscano.
An official message from Medicare. Open enrollment ends soon.
So now's the time to be open-minded.
Look at everything, like prescription drug plans and Medicare Advantage plans from private insurers.
Why? Because plans change. So can your health needs.
I found lower costs and extra benefits and saved money.
Open to something better? Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE today.
Open enrollment ends December 7th.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
What's in store this holiday at your local Staples?
Gifts and packages shipped with care.
So you can relax in knowing they'll soon be there.
Now at Staples, you get 15% off UPS shipping services and 15% off all shipping supplies.
Plus, Staples is open 7 days a week.
So a happy and stress-free shipping holiday to all.
And to all, a good night. Staples, there's a whole lot in store this holiday.
Exclusions apply. In-store only. See associate for details. Ends 12/29/18.
Hi, this is John Austin, host of the Book Club on the Tan Talk Radio Network. I spent 35 years in publishing, and today I want to tell you about a book that could change your life. The book is No Cash, No Problem. The author is Dave Wagenford. Dave Wagenford is one of the greatest barter experts in the world. He's bartered over $500 million in goods and services. If you want to remodel your home, but the cost is just too high, or maybe there's an automobile that you have dreamed of owning, but thought you just couldn't afford. Well, this book will allow you to do both of those things, plus hundreds more with little or no cash. cash. Maybe you're a business owner with a cash flow problem that leads to low or non-existing profits. Read this book and see how you can increase your cash flow and your profits by time-proven techniques. The book again is No Cash, No Problem, and you can buy it now online at www.tantalknetwork.com. Click on the book and follow the instructions, or pick up the phone and call Lola at 727-441-3311. The book costs only $6.99, so do yourself a favor and buy the book today.
Enter the battleground of ideas every Tuesday, 3 p.m. to 4 with The Social Report, shedding a light on important stories ignored by the mainstream media, discussing local activism, political corruption, and international issues. The Social Report, every Tuesday, 3 to 4, with me, Chris Stanzel, on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Check us out at socialreportradio.com.
Hi there, I'm Dr. John.
And I'm Dr. Lisa.
Do you have medical questions you never get to ask?
Now you can ask us.
After many years of caring for children and families, we've learned that the best informed families are also... I am Dr. Lisa, and since you're the smart one, I hope you'll share some knowledge with me and our listeners.
Let's do this then.
Okay, we hope you join us every Monday at noon right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network for the Doctors John and Lisa Show.
Listen online at tantalk1340.com.
Hello there, Tampa Bay. This is former NFL and college football coach Jimmy Johnson. Listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They can sure use the attention.
And this is former Major League Baseball player, Hall of Famer Wade Boggs. I also hope you listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They can darn sure use the money.
Hi there. This is marine wildlife artist and conservationist Dr. Guy Harvey. Please listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They need to feel worthy.
Live in a condo or homeowners association? Do you have issues? How about questions? Tune in to the Ameritech Connection every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Tan Talk Radio Network. That's 1340 AM and 106.1 FM. Right, Sharon?
That's right, Mike. We cover it all when it comes to deed-restricted communities. We have the answers to all of your questions and more on the Ameritech Connection every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Tan Talk Radio Network, 1340 AM and 106.1 FM.
Hi, I'm Dawn Reese. Expedia Cruise Ship Centers everywhere under the sun sale. Choose your paradise, soaking in the sun and setting your watch to the gentle rhythm of the surf. Yes, your tropical cruise could be just around the corner. Book yours now with Expedia Cruise with Dawn Reese. Free drinks, free gratitudes, $350 credit, specialty dining, $750 in savings, reduced deposit, and you can call now 727-871-7788 as I'm your vacation consultant and look forward to working with you.
Thinking of selling your home or buying your next property? If so, you'll need a professional realtor you can call a trusted friend. Call me on 727-723-4856 for a no-obligation appointment and price analysis of your property. I'm Masunta, the Sheila from Down Under, on top in downtown Clearwater. Call me on 727-723
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's Monday. Do you need some Monday motivation? The Shop Local for Good News team is here. I'm Karena Morrison, and we're bringing you the good news stories of our neighbors doing good in our neighborhoods.
You can find us on Facebook Live on the Shop Local for Good page, and we're looking forward to your calls.
Let's get this Shop Local for Good News conversation started, shall we? Happy Monday, everybody. This is Karena Morrison, and you are listening to Monday Motivation with Shop Local for Good News. You can find us on our website at shoplocalforgoodnews.com. That's shoplocalforgoodnews.com. Head on over there when, if you're not driving, if you get to work and the boss lets you use your computer for personal use, on your break. Let's not cause any drama with the employment. You can find us on Facebook. We are currently live on Facebook on Shop Local for Good's page. That's Shop Local for Good. We want to thank our camera person, Lorena Morrison, also known as my daughter, and my personal assistant extraordinaire. She's running the Facebook Live this morning. If you are not driving, drop a comment in our Facebook Live. If you are a small business owner, we ask that you put your link there so that we can know what you're doing, what products you sell, what services you provide. This hour is the Shop Local for Good hour, where we spotlight small businesses and the families that are doing good in our neighborhoods their small business. Shop Local for Good's mission is quite simple. Basically, we like to tell the stories of the small business families in our community who are supporting locally focused nonprofit missions. And then we encourage the supporters of the locally focused nonprofits to support the small businesses that are supporting their mission. It's quite simple. Think of it as a circle and circle of life. And when we do that, we're all stronger together, because small businesses are the engine of our great country's economy. They employ more people. They actually do more good in our neighborhoods, believe it or not. You know, the big guys, the big corporations, they like to brag. But if you actually look up the statistics, small businesses actually do more for our nonprofits and our neighbors in need than any corporation would ever think of doing. Not to mention, the small business families are your neighbors. And there is a total of over 23 million small businesses in this country. Did you know that? I'm going to give you a little bit of statistics here, because I want to give a shout out to Dee Wilkins with Impact Magazine. She set up this awesome page. It's called Small Business is Big Business for You. That's the name of the page. Small Business is Big Business for You. And I love her profile picture. Basically, it says, when you support small business, you're supporting a dream. Now, for you to understand what I'm talking about, small businesses, that is like a locally owned family business. Now, when I talk about small businesses, I'm also talking about local entrepreneurs. That does include our direct sales friends, because if you've never been in direct sales and understand the challenges of that they have to deal with as being a company representative, they have a lot of challenges, because there's a lot of rules that come with their sales opportunities. I was that Mary Kay person, which I love their products, but I found out very, very quickly that I stink at selling makeup. I love their products. However, I stink at selling makeup. So that was one of the pivots I've made in my life. However, Mary Kay provides a fantastic program that teaches you a lot of skills. So every business that I've tried as an entrepreneur, as a stay-at-home mom, that's a funny word, stay-at-home mom. My passion has been to try to stay home as much as possible with my children, because I'm also a home educator. So I've tried a lot of things. I'm not going to tell you that I've been successful at everything. However, I will tell you that I have learned lessons from everything that I have tried. So shout out to our direct sales friends. I know that a lot of entrepreneurs that are doing their own businesses that don't necessarily are not necessarily involved with a corporate level thing. Some of them do challenge me on including my direct sales friends in my entrepreneur program. However, I know, because I've been in direct sales, that just because you have a company name behind you doesn't mean that you'll be successful. You still have to hustle. So shout out to my direct sales friends. A couple in particular, actually a few in particular. Should I tell the Wizard of Oz story, Lorena? All right. So let me take a quick drink because Karina's voice is gotta stay voicey because a non-voicey voice on radio is just boring. You're hearing me whisper. So I'm gonna take a quick drink real quick. The Wizard of Oz story. For those of you who may not know, the MarketSpace For Good launched a Saturday community market at the Creative Suites of Station Square on the gorgeous patio that is actually right next door to the Station Square City Park. So as we are setting up and as you are shopping, you can see the city park right next door to us. Not to mention, we have a lovely view and there's a waterfall and everything. So this past Saturday, for anyone that wasn't outside and doesn't know, it was pretty breezy. Now, the Saturday market, since it's on the patio next to a building in the middle of buildings, there's a park there, but there's a building on the other side. It's the Bank of America building. Provides our Saturday market vendors with tent cover. And we had 2 10 by 30 tents up. I say we had 2 10 by 30 tents up. And what would you say, approximately noonish or 1 o'clock? The market starts at 11. So, and we set the tents up at night on Friday nights, and we tied them down by 5-gallon water bottles. So there's it. If you've ever tried to pick up a 5-gallon water bottle, it's pretty heavy. And so we have 2 10 by 30 tents. Well, about noonish, the wind had picked up so much that one of our rock star direct sales friends and all around supporters is Gabby Lyons with It Works. It's It Works Gabby Go Green. She was our market ambassador, and so she was right at the front. And I look down and I see her standing on her cooler holding one of the bars of the tent, and I hear her calling my name. So I go down there and realize quickly that my front tent was collapsing from the wind tunnel. There was a downdraft. And not only was she holding up her tent, Sandy Cartier with Lasting Kisses by Sandy, even though her oh, it was so funny. Nobody has video of this. It wasn't funny at the time because this tent was collapsing. It was collapsing on one end, and then Sandy, not only was she trying to save her Lip Sense products from being blown away, I'm not kidding you, blown away, she was trying to hold on to the other tent pole that was currently anchored to a 5-gallon water bottle. All right. And the tent pole was still going up. And so I turn around and I look at Sandy, and what came to mind was Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. And the tent was turning into a kite on one end and being crushed by a downdraft on Gabby's end. So we want to give a shout out to Dan McDermott too. He's on Gabby's team with It Works, because he was in the back trying to make sure that the other end didn't collapse. And at one point, there were 6 of us trying to manage this tent. And so Tom Cuba with Dark Horse Florida Publishing, I'm just going to drop names all over the place right now. Tom Cuba, he's a scientist too. He's got a lot of college, and he's been in the environmental sciences. So he comes down because he was like 3 tables down, and he looks at me, and meanwhile I'm making a panicked phone call to my husband at home to see if he can bring some metal reinforcement, because the metal bars were bending from the downdraft. And yeah, so it was kind of crazy in case you can't tell. And we live about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes if we hit all the lights from the MarketSpace For Good. So my husband's heading back in. We're holding the tent and we're trying to have this conversation, calmly. And Tom comes over to hold the middle because he's tall and I'm not. And Loreta's out there holding another one of the poles, which, by the way, was also weighted with a 5-gallon water bottle. And then I'm expecting my daughter to take off like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz too. So Tom's like, we've got to unstrap this from the frame. Little did we know that the strap started ripping off. So those of us who weren't trying to fly away like Dorothy with Wizard of Oz, and who weren't holding the tent from collapsing on our heads, went around and disconnected the canvas part to allow the downdraft to anyway. So we take the ceiling off of one tent, and as soon as we did that, I turned and I looked at the second 10 by 30 tent, and taking that power away just moved it to the other tent. Because that tent was, I hope you guys can visualize how funny this was, because, if someone did videotape it and upload it to YouTube, I'm thinking million views, no problem. But there were no free hands to do that with. Not to mention several of our phones blew off the tables. So, and in the teamwork area, one of our vendors actually had to leave. She was having a medical condition, and she had to leave to go to urgent care. And so, and this is why I love it. I love my direct sales team that I've surrounded myself with, my direct sales entrepreneurs. Not only did that vendor have to go for an emergency, a medical emergency, the other two vendors, Sandy with Lasting Kisses by Sandy and Gabby with It Works, once we've got the cover off of the tents, we had to take both covers off and just leave the frames up, which were strung with lights because we had a nighttime market as well. We just left the skeleton because once you took the canvas off the top, the wind still was amazingly crazy. But then things started blowing off tables. So the 6 people who were trying to hold the tent and not fly away like Dorothy with Wizard of Oz turned into helping everybody break down their table so that their, lip scents and their keto coffee and their jewelry weren't flying to our neighbors in the park next door. Which, shout out to Ruth Eckert Experience. Bless their hearts, their people were trying to set up a gingerbread house for Santa and Mrs. Santa. And not only did their roof, not only did their ceiling tiles, which by the way were half plates, end up mostly on our patio. At one point, they even had to take, this was a wooden house, y'all, that they built. They had to take it down because they were worried that it was going to be like the Wizard of Oz and fly away and land on the Good Witch. So today's second hour is the theme, the Wizard of Oz. So that is actually definitely how windy it was. So going back to the teamwork theme, within, I'd say 5-10 minutes, we had broken down all of the outdoor market and we had moved inside to what's awesome about the Creative Suites at Station Square is we have a shared kitchen, and because we're all entrepreneurs, we fit 6 vendors in a shared kitchen space. Now, mind you, there was a whole lot of creative use of space going on there. Yes. And, shout out to Station Square. When I say it's a shared space, it's a group of offices. So we want to truly, truly give a shout out to Richter Publishing and Stacy Krupa's art and the other businesses that are located in the Creative Suites for being so kind and sharing the kitchen with us for the rest of the day, because what would have happened is those small business owners would have had to go home. Instead, we spent the day in the kitchen, and we had well over 100 people. Okay, guys, I'm just giving you a visual. It's a pretty big kitchen, so but there were six, and then Tom ended up Tom with Dark Horse Florida Publishing, Station Square Realty. We seriously appreciate how much of a supporter he is of local entrepreneurs. If you have any real estate needs, I highly recommend our friend Ray Casano in the Clearwater area. And there are some creative suites available. They're very, very functional and extremely affordable for a small business. So, and you'd be my neighbor, and you would be able to shop local anytime you want when we're open from Tuesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. MarketSpace For Good, 628 Cleveland Street. So yeah, that's the Wizard of Oz story. I do want to encourage you to go to the MarketSpace For Good Facebook page, because I spent yesterday setting up all the events for December. We have a bunch of events that we shared flyers with families that attended the Miracle on Cleveland Street this past Saturday. I'm pretty sure, I know I handed out well over 400 flyers, which is the reason why Karena's voice is struggling this morning, because I love talking to the Clearwater, City of Clearwater Community Redevelopment Association, Anne Fogarty France. Thank her for coming by and visiting the market space on Saturday. We appreciate it when our city leaders come through and see what we're doing as a small business. And Anne has been a big supporter of the community for years. Also want to give a shout out to Howard Washauer. I really hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He helped establish the Clearwater Community Gardens, and he came through and visited us on Saturday. He and his wife Gail are huge community advocates. They're not just talkers, they're doers. And I'm a big fan of Howard and his wife Gail, because I've seen them do amazing things in Clearwater. And I love gardens. So and they've got a first part of town and making it look pretty, and also growing food. And growing food's important. Anyone that's lived here, I've lived here, I'm going on my second generation, raising my third generation of natives. And anyone that's been here during a major storm or major weather incident or any kind of incident knows how fast the grocery shelves empty. And food insecurity, believe it or not, in Tampa Bay, food insecurity is a huge issue. The other day, Judith Turner with Florida Seed Foundation shared something. And it's heartbreaking, but it's a reality that there are currently over 3,500 children in Pinellas County Public Schools that are identified as homeless. Homeless. Over 3,500 children. Hashtag give where you live. I want you to remember that. I want you to understand that there are some amazing nonprofits that do great work locally with our homeless neighbors. There are neighbors. A high school friend of mine goes out to Clearwater, and I believe he does it with this church group. And I'm going to see if I can get Dawn on an upcoming show. But he takes his daughter. He's a single dad. Takes his daughter to downtown Clearwater every Sunday. I know when Facebook allows me to see his posts. I know it's more than one Sunday a month, but he takes his daughter down to downtown Clearwater because homelessness is an issue. And they feed them. They're people. So give where you live. And for us to have thousands, over 3,500 homeless children in our community, in Pinellas County alone, it shouldn't be happening in our country. So that's where a lot of small business owners, they have that direct connection to the community. Corporations, not so much. They'll throw dollars at things, but having a direct connection, and this is just a major reason why I preach for you to empower your dollar by shopping locally with a small business owner and a local entrepreneur, or even a local artist. Definitely local artists. Your dollar is empowered not only by keeping it in the community with a neighbor who is running a business, but if that neighbor is also supporting a local nonprofit that's all volunteer managed, you're just adding that much more power to your dollar. So, yep, I'm preaching. Now, what I want to reiterate, we started out with this. We are launching the hashtag Business for Good. It's hashtag Business for Good. And what that's going to be is at the MarketSpace for Good, we have a beautiful display case for business cards. And we are asking our small business partners to sign up for a monthly donation of at least $25 to the Benevolution Foundation, and we will showcase your business card at the MarketSpace for Good in our creative suite. We do have a non-compete policy. So, for example, if you are in real estate and you reach out to our team, if you send the Benevolution Foundation Facebook page a message, and you get the automatic donation set up, then we will close out that industry, because we want to be able to focus our efforts on those who are supporting us. We also do have several premier sponsorship areas where you would be able to showcase your brochure and your business cards. That is for our premier sponsors. If you are interested in that, I ask that you get in touch with us directly, and I'll give you the details. So, and that is extremely limited. I'm going to limit that to no more than 10 premier sponsors, because I want to, the point is, I want to be able to brag about you sufficiently and show you sufficient appreciation. And if all I do is get all bunches and bunches and bunches, there's, shockingly enough, there's only so much I can talk. And I want to provide you and your business with the respect for your donation to the Benevolution Foundation. So that is hashtag Businesses for Good. Hashtag Business for Good is what's being launched tomorrow, Tuesday, December 4th. And the donations will be going to the Benevolution Foundation's grant program. If you would like to mentor a locally focused nonprofit, because what I do explain to nonprofit leadership who are just getting started out and maybe not. A nonprofit it's exactly the same as running a business, only with more rules, because you have to qualify for your classification. The federal government has a whole lot of rules. I know them. You may have to register with the state of Florida. In fact, I encourage you to register with the state of Florida. And that's what we're here for. I do have over 2 organizations from the local to the national level. There are things that do change, so I do keep up on the rules that change. I am in no way am I an attorney, so I am not telling you that I know all the legal things, but if you are a local attorney that is interested in being a part of the Benevolution Foundation team, please feel free to reach out to me, especially if you have experience in nonprofit management, because then I can literally say that we have a professional in that area, and I promise not to take up too much of your time. What I'd like to do is put together a resource guide so that it would be sort of like a cloning machine. We do have opportunities available with Shop Local for Good for our upcoming markets. And through the MarketSpace for Good, we also have shelves that are available for weekly opportunities to be showcased inside the MarketSpace for Good. So we want to let all of our small business families know that you can be either at our Saturday markets. We have a couple of night markets that are coming up because there are going to be free movies in the park next door to us. So we decided to do a night market. Plus, I invested in some really pretty lights that will be up on our tents. There's all kinds of opportunities available. If you go to MarketSpace for Good, the Facebook page, MarketSpace for Good, and check out the events. I will definitely put the inquiry form in each event for the specific opportunity that's available. And I will, I'm going to go ahead and pin the Business for Good, hashtag Business for Good inquiry form to the top of the page on the Benevolution Foundation's page. If you are a local artist, I ask that you want to be a part of the hashtag Artist for Good campaign that is also raising funds for the Benevolution Foundation grant program. I ask that you contact us through our Facebook page or by email. That's Karena at thebenevolutionfoundation.org. The Facebook page is The Benevolution Foundation, Inc. But if you start typing The Benevolution Foundation, by the way, Benevolution is spelled BENEVOLUTION. That is your Monday motivation spelling lesson for the day. And what it means is it's a benevolence revolution. A friend of mine came up with that, and I thought it was fabulous. And so we launched the Benevolution Foundation this year. However, those behind the Benevolution Foundation have a couple of decades worth of work in the nonprofit community from the local to the national level. So we're not newbies. We just decided to focus our efforts and name it. So that's the Benevolution Foundation. If you want to be an artist for good, please feel free to reach out to the Benevolution Foundation page. Send me photos of the art that you would like to showcase on the walls of the MarketSpace for Good. And we do ask for a minimum of a $25 25% commission donated from the sale of your artwork to the Benevolution Foundation's nonprofit. So that's how we're tying in the community. Shop Local for Good basically manages the events. The Shop Local for Good team also manages the MarketSpace for Good. MarketSpace for Good is a project of Shop Local for Good, and the MarketSpace for Good is an entrepreneur incubator. So it is a retail space that has shelves of local businesses, their products, and we do have a couple of shelves of local businesses that offer services, and they invest in a membership fee to be there. So they get to price their products the way they opportunities where they either consign their products to the shop owner or the shop owner buys wholesale. We're empowering each small business with the opportunity to price their products the way they want to put them on sale when they want to rotate the stock as much as they want to, and then Shop Local for Good. Our team, what we do is we manage their sales, and we help them grow through online and community-based campaigns. So we're like a great big family. So if you're interested in being on a shelf at the MarketSpace for Good, there are a few shelves remaining. We have weekly opportunities, which we're calling during the month of December. They're the holiday pop-up shops, pop-up gift shops. We've had a flyering campaign describing what the MarketSpace for Good is and our holiday pop-up shops. We've gotten well over 400 flyers out in the last week alone, directly into the hands of our neighbors. So if you would like your products available on our shelf, what you would do is you would get with our team and register. And how it works is Sunday evening, you come in and you set up your shelf. That's a Sunday evening from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you're really nice to me, I'll stay there till 8. Stay till 8. What we do is we inventory. You need to come with an inventory list, and then our inventory manager puts it into our system so that, and then we get to know your products as well, because that is the point of trying to encourage our guests, our MarketSpace for Good, Shop Local for Good guests, into purchasing the product. We want to know your story. We get to know your story because your story is powerful. And then the following Sunday, you come in and you break down your shelf unless you get one of our packages. We currently have a package, 3 weeks, and you get one free. That is over today at 5 o'clock, though. So if you're listening now and you want to get in, we do have just a few remaining shelves that qualify for that discount. That's 3 weeks. If you get in for 3 weeks through the month of December, you get a credit of a week for a future pop-up shop. It's a really, really big deal. And it's not that much, because not only are your products there for the week for the pop-up shop, but when we have an outdoor market, we also invite our guests to the outdoor market to come inside to shop. So you're getting double the value. And it's a cloning machine. You don't have to be there. So if all you market vendors, you're like, oh, I can't do that event. I can't be involved at the market space because I'm a very, very busy market vendor, and I can't be in 2 places at once. You now can be in 2 places. You don't have to be there. The Shop Local for Good team is there, and we're repping you. We're repping your products. Now, we do have a non-compete policy. So if you sell salsa, you're out of luck. because we have DJ's Homemade Salsa on their shelf. Every kind of flavor you could imagine. He was talking about another flavor. He's constantly getting consumer feedback from his friends. I'm not going to even tell you the flavor because the flavor he mentioned doesn't sound good to me at all or appetizing. And I think it was a private a private post. So, and I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to call him out on it. But he's constantly in the kitchen. His salsa is locally made and locally co-packed. And he has amazing flavors like anything from fresh and zesty to burning mango, which is my personal favorite, burning pineapple. He's got verde sauce. He's got Trinidad Reaper, which is hot. I don't do hot. However, I personally know somebody that does hot, and they tried DJ's Trinidad Reaper, and the feedback that they told me was it's hot. However, it has a really good flavor because if you're a salsa person, and you know the difference, there's just, take your head off hot with no flavor. You can't even feel your tongue. And then there's DJ's Trinidad Reaper, which she was explaining to me it's still hot, but there's a really good flavor to it. So if you like hot salsa, or Pinellas County, and get a jar. Get a jar. And then you're supporting our dear friend Donnie, who who donated the most fabulous gift basket to Bailey's Way Rescue Group. See how this works, folks? He put together a gift basket for Bailey's Way Rescue Group for their competition. And much like Aunt Nisi's put together a fantastic gift basket for Kids Campaign for their competition for the annual Macaroni and Cheese Fall Festival's People's Choice of Favorite Local Nonprofit. So this is what the Shop Local for Good team does. We get together, we put our brains together, we develop campaigns, we develop events, local events. They are always going to support a nonprofit somehow. And the Benevolution Foundation is the umbrella nonprofit that offers locally focused, all volunteer managed nonprofits the opportunity to qualify for grants, some kind of grant funding. I'm not going to tell you that I'm a big corporation, a big foundation that could afford to give thousands of dollars away. However, we did donate a minimum of about $40,000 in not only in funding but in services to close to a dozen nonprofits this year. So over a dozen nonprofits in 2018. And it is a family-based foundation. So that was a whole lot of volunteering. And volunteer time is valuable. For all our volunteers, for all our Tampa Bay volunteers, go to the Serial Volunteer. It's the Serial Volunteer, not Lucky Charms, SERIL. And like the page for us. And let us know where you love to volunteer, because the Serial Volunteer is a community that we will be building along with the Benevolution Foundation as well. It's going to be a volunteer resource center, and we'll put together fun ways that we can get together. We don't all have to support the same nonprofit, but we can get together and figure out ways that we can be more effective volunteers in our community, and everybody will be stronger together. So remember, we're going to review. Much like I was saying in the first hour, with the small business community, what I would like for you to understand is the power of 5 minutes a week. 5 minutes and inviting 5 friends. Okay, here's what we're going to do. If you have a local business that you do business with, go to their Facebook page. If you have yet to recommend them, please take a moment and don't just click, yeah, I recommend. Say a few words. If it's coming from your heart, it's not going to be judged. And if it's judged harshly, that's on the other people. We all have to realize that. Putting your heart out there is not a bad thing, because then you get to find your tribe. Because there's a lot of us out here that put our hearts out, always. And do we get stomped on occasion? Oh, yeah. But you know what? You find out who your true friends are, and you find out who your tribe is, and you build your tribe over a lifetime. And it's not about the numbers on Facebook, people. It's about the people that will send you a private message. It's about the people that will jump in the car and track you down if they think something's wrong. It's about the people that will hold down a 10 by 30 tent from flying away while their business products are flying off the table. And it's about teamwork. So what I want you to do this week is spend a total of 5 minutes on identifying a nonprofit. Please go to one of the ones I've recommended, or a small business in your community, and recommend their page. Even if you write one sentence, you got to let them know why you're recommending them. Because for a small business owner to get a recommendation with a few kind words, you can probably imagine how that might make their day. And then you've made their day, and then you've encouraged your friends, because your friends are going to see that recommendation. And then you've helped them grow. And it hasn't cost anybody a dime. And then I'm going to ask you to share one of their posts. So you can actually do this for a nonprofit and a small business every week. Just one each every week. And it'll take you less than 10 minutes. If you have to do research, it'll take you less than 10 minutes. If you already know, get if you're off the keyboard and you're driving around and you see a brick and mortar store, go inside. Go inside. Don't be afraid. No fear. # no fear. And visit with them. The owner may not be there, or the entire owner's family may be there. And then you get to go around. You don't even have to buy anything. But if you buy something, you know what happens when you buy something from a small business owner? We all do a little dance. And, inside, they might be dancing inside. And then when they get home, they dance around their living room, or, they do whatever they do for happy. But it does make their day. Every purchase makes their day at a small business owner. I do want to give a shout out, just because I had a Facebook reminder of a gift I was given. My family was given by Edgewater and Maine. Now, Clyde and Michael Hutchins with Edgewater and Maine are a couple of guys that I've known since 2014, 2013. They're huge community advocates. They consistently donate to worthy causes that I recommend to them. And they surprised me last year, actually yesterday of last year. They asked me to come up to their boutique. At the time, they were in Safety Harbor. Right now, they're on Klosterman Road in Tarpon Springs. That's Edgewater in Maine. They're an interior design boutique, and they also have home goods, fine linens, candles. They actually launched an artist program too. I can't wait to go in and see what they've got up there. But they asked me to come up to their storefront, so I made the trip, and they surprised me with a huge gift bag of the most amazing towels and a sheet set that I've ever experienced in my life. Now, mind you, guys, I was raised with towels and sheets from Goodwill. I have no problem with the Goodwill ones. My family was not wealthy. My father worked 2 jobs. My mom was a stay-at-home mom while we were young, but she also was an at-home daycare provider. So basically, my parents worked 3 jobs, and I learned quickly the joy of shopping at thrift shops, and the joy of my grandmother, who was also a thrift store shopper, who would find sheet sets and towels, and that's my background. I was raised on that level. So for me to get something as incredibly special as an entire bag of pretty amazing sheet set and towels, and especially knowing who it came from, I am so trying not to cry on the air. Anyway, Facebook just reminded me about that special gift. So I want to give a shout out to Clyde and Michael Hutchins of Edgewater and Maine, and encourage you all to go visit their boutique. It's on Klosterman Road in it's Edgewater and Maine. If you're driving north, you take a left on Klosterman Road. I'm giving you Florida Girl directions, and it's right on the right-hand side across the street from the college, the Tarpon Springs campus. So, good morning, Gabby. So, Gabby with It Works. You're going to have to rewind, Gabby. I told the Wizard of Oz story. Anyway, going back to my emotional thank you to my friends Clyde and Michael of Edgewater, Maine. That was a very special gift to my family. And I just want to encourage everybody. I want to motivate you to understand that getting to know small business owners can be much more than, a business transaction. For example, we're also friends with Steve of Pets Unlimited on Drew Street. He's another one. I've known him for over 17 years. And he's another one that donates to worthy missions in our community when I ask him to. He also has a bulletin board and posts all of our upcoming events, which I need to get over there and post a flyer. So if you're in need of pet supplies, we'd like to encourage you to shop local for good with our friends at Pets Unlimited. That is on Drew Street. I was going to look up the address. Okay. It is on Drew Street. Just look them up on Facebook. Bad thing. Giving them a shout out. They're on Drew Street across from, I can tell you they're across from, because there's all kinds of businesses that I'm friends with. They're across from 20 Shekels. If you know where 20 Shekels Bread is, shout out to my friends at 20 Shekels Bread. Then directly across the street, catty corner, if you look across the street, you'll see Pets Unlimited sign. Now, Lorena and I are starving, and we are going to be going to have breakfast with our other friends at Angie's Grill. Yay. They serve breakfast all day. They're going to be I know this address, 1732 Drew Street. It's directly across the street from the 7-Eleven. And they serve breakfast all day from 6 a.m. So you can actually call them and have them make it up for you. You can grab it on your way into work. But they're open from 6 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. every day. And Tuesday, if you can't make it out there today, Tuesdays, they're Taco Tuesdays. These are not your corporate tacos. They are fantastic flavor. They have a special on their empanadas. You can get 4 of their big homemade empanadas with either beef filling or chicken filling for only $5. And then their tacos are $1.50 a piece. So once again, if you're out and about and you want to drop into Angie's Grill and say hi to Lorena and I, we're going to be heading over to Angie's Grill 1732. This is Shop Local for Good News, Monday Motivation. We are airing on live every week on Monday on the Tan Talk Radio Network. It's from 7 a.m. Shop Local for Good News. You can find us at shoplocalforgoodnews.com. And we want to thank. And we are out of here. Have a great week, everybody.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay, WZHR, Zephyr Hills,
FM 104.3.
Listen.
It's time for the Monday edition of Canada Calling, the news from home for vacationing Canadians, on air and online. Prior Smith speaking from Toronto. Thanks for joining us. It was a long weekend for many across the Maritimes and the Atlantic region, waiting for the power to be restored after a nasty storm Thursday into Friday. Here in southern Ontario yesterday, unseasonably mild, up near 50 degrees Fahrenheit with rain after freezing rain early in the morning. It was much the same story down through eastern Ontario and southern Quebec, but just a little cooler. So we have a new updated NAFTA agreement in place following the signing by the leaders of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico on the weekend. What it's called depends on where you live. In Canada, the official name has Canada listed first.